Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Alright, the paper I've chosen today is 2023 Specimen Paper 3 and we're going to look into web page here. So let's begin with evidence. Create a new word process document. So open a new Word document and in here you're supposed to have your name, center number and candidate number on every page. So it's either a header or a footer. So I insert header and type in your candidate details then, your name, center number and candidate number. And then you'll have to save this in your work area with the file name spec evidence followed by your candidate number. Save it in your work area, that is the folder given to you, that is your work area. So it's here, spec evidence followed by your candidate number. Okay, now moving on to web page. A trainee has started to create a web page and style sheet with Tavara Digital Storage. These must be suitable for uploading to a web server. Create a new folder called spec_html. Okay, let's go to the folder and we are asked to create a new folder. Right click, new folder, and it's spec_html. Create this folder. Locate the following files and store them in spec.html folder. Okay, it's spec disk, spec style, spec disk, spec style, spec style 1 and web page, spec style 1 and web page. All of these you highlight and you cut and paste or you move it into spec.html. Okay, next. Open the file spec disk in a suitable application. We're going to edit this picture, so any image editing software you can use. So I use Photoshop. Okay, so open Photoshop, open the file. File, open your folder and find for the file spec disk. Open the file. Okay, you have the file here. Now, in order to get these grid lines, just in case, you go to View tab, Show Grid. Okay, so this will show the grid lines. Now, here the picture, it has to reflect. Okay, reflect the image horizontally. So to reflect the image, you go to Image, Rotate Canvas, Flip Horizontal. So it's rotated horizontally, and then save this image as disk1 in your spec.html folder. So let's save it as, make sure you're saving it inside the correct folder as disk1 and the format is JPEG. Save, click OK. So it's saved here. Now next, the same the disk1 image, rotate the disk1 image to 90-degree clockwise. So image again, rotate canvas 90 clockwise, 90-degree clockwise. So it's rotated here. Okay. To resize, it is Control minus or plus. Okay. Now next, crop the image disk2. Oh, sorry. After you rotate the picture, you need to save it as disk2. So let's save this as disk2. Saved. So now the disk2 picture, you have to crop the image disk2 so that all the solid state drive is visible. That is, only solid state must be visible. Hard disk drive should not be visible. And with an equal amount of red background on each side. So you'll have to make it into a perfect square. This must be a square. Do not distort the image. Do not change the ratio of the picture. The hard disk must not be visible. Okay, let's do this first. Let's enlarge the picture so it's more clearer. Now here, if you notice the grid lines here, the ones here, the space, the line here and on this side, right hand side, it seems to be of same size. The edges seems to be of same size. Only here and at the bottom you need to make sure you choose the correct size. So in order to crop, you use a crop tool. This is a crop tool. Okay, pick a crop tool and draw and choose the selection. Let's say for example, I choose like this somewhere here. If you notice, here and here is almost the same, so should be okay. Now we're just worried about the left hand side. So reduce the crop size so that it's equal to the other three sides. Okay, so we are done. Enter. The picture is cropped. Now we'll have to save this as disk 3. File, save it as disk 3. And then resize the image disk 3 to become 600 times 600 pixels. That is width and height, 600. So go to image size, constrain proportions here. This will lock the ratio. So make sure it is unticked. Okay. So once it is unticked, change the width to 600, height to 600. And make sure it is pixels. Click OK. It's saved here. Now next, save this image as spec SSD. File, save it as spec SSD. Yeah, spec SSD. Save. Okay, so we are done with the Photoshop. Now, display the contents of your spec HTML folder showing the folder name, dimension, all file names, extension and file size. Take a screenshot of this folder. So open your folder, change the view to content, and then take a screenshot of this folder and paste this in your evidence as step 2. Step 2, paste the screenshot. Okay, next. Okay, now style sheet is not finished and contains a number of errors. You are going to edit the style sheet. The style sheet is given. They say the style sheet that is provided has a lot of errors. You'll have to correct them. All color codes must be in hexadecimal 6-digit. Headings style H4, H5 and H6 do not need defining. So if H4, H5, H6 is given, you don't have to do anything to it. You just delete them. Make sure that your style sheet contains no HTML. So let's open the file. Spec style CSS. Spec style CSS is here. Double click open. I'm using Dreamweaver. So here is where we have the styles. Okay, now here they say there are a lot of corrections to be done. So instead of making corrections, we delete it and we start from scratch. Okay, now they say all table borders and grid lines are visible, which means you don't set the table borders to 0 pixel. Okay, so let's start with table. So the first thing they are asking us to do is table. So type table, and then they are asking us to work on size, which is 90% of the width of the browser. So open a flower bracket. We are working on width. Choose width, and it's supposed to be 90%. Semicolon. We are done with the first one. Now they say the next is borders. And they say it is not supposed to be collapsed. So not collapsed, the opposite of not collapsed is separate. It has to be separate. It shouldn't be together. Okay, so space, they're talking about border collapse. Choose border collapse. And they say it is not collapsed. So not collapsed means it's supposed to be separate. Okay, so there you have semicolon, and then they say the width. of the border is supposed to be 2 pixel. So the border width is 2 pixel. Space, border, set it to be 2 pixel. And then it's a solid line, that is, it is not a dotted or dashed line. Okay, so space, solid, and then they give the color, the border color. They say it's 808000. So space, hashtag 808000. Okay, that's the color of the border. So we are done with the first coding. Close the flower bracket. Okay, so we are done with the table. Enter on a new line. The next is table data. Okay, it's supposed to be table data, that is within the table. Table data is all the lines and the elements within the table. So table, comma, td. Now the first thing they're talking about is cell padding. Open the bracket. They say padding top is 8 pixels. So open bracket, padding top, set it to be 8 pixel. And then next is padding left and right 20, padding bottom 6. Okay, let me do padding bottom first. Padding bottom is 6 pixel. And then padding left and right is 20 pixel. Padding left 20 pixel. Padding right is again 20 pixel. Okay, so we are done with that. Next is border again. So border, it's 2 pixel again. The same width is 2 pixel. Solid, so 2 pixel solid, and the color is 808000. So color hashtag 808000. Close the bracket. We are done with the table. So that's the end of table. Now start for all the heading styles. Okay, that is H1, H2, H3 goes on. Okay, so here you can either type it or you can get the coding from new CSS rule. Selected type is tag. So we are working on heading 1 first. Let's work on heading 1 here. Do this carefully. All heading styles will have this color. So it is red, green, blue. Okay, it's supposed to be red, green, and blue. So it is FFFF00. Hashtag FFFF00. And then next font family is Times New Roman. If not Times, if not the serif font. Okay, font family is Times New Roman, Times Serif. Font size for H1 is 48 points. Type 48 and change the dimension to point. And then alignment is right align. Block category, text align right. Click OK, you get the coding for heading 1. Move the cursor to a new line, get a new rule, tag heading 2. Now we're working on heading 2. Okay, now here again, all heading styles will have the same color. So color is again hashtag FFFF00. And then font family is again Times New Roman, Times Serif. And then font size for heading 2 is 24 points. So it's supposed to be 24 points. Click OK. Now finally, heading 3. Tag heading 3. Font color is again the same with the font family. So font color is FFFF00. Font family is Times New Roman, Times Serif. And then font size is 18 points. 18 points. Okay, we have it here. And there's one more here. Include a class called cyan color. Okay, so to add a class, dot the name of the class. The name of the class is cyan, and then it is the color you're talking about here. So choose color, and the color they have given is 00FFFF. So type the color code, hashtag 00FFFF, and close the tag. And then before you finish the tag, here they say place your name, center number and candidate number as a comment at the end of the style sheet. So to place a comment is /* type your name, center number followed by your candidate number */. Okay, so this is the format for comment. Okay, so we are done with the tag. Save this style sheet in your folder with the file name spec style followed by your candidate number. File, save as, save it inside the same folder with the file name spec style followed by your candidate number. Save. Okay, and then you will have to provide a screenshot of this style sheet. Okay, so do not copy this. It is supposed to be a screenshot. So take a screenshot of this style sheet with the name of your file. Take a screenshot, and this is supposed to be step 3. Paste this under step 3. Okay. This is going to be your next evidence. So make sure the text is clearly visible. All right, next, moving on, continuing, open the web page, spec web page in a suitable editing package. So spec web page, open with, I use Dreamweaver here, Adobe Dreamweaver. You have the file open here. Now here in this file, replace the text, a candidate, with all these details with your name, center number and candidate number. So find for this content and type in your name, your center number followed by your candidate number. Attach style sheet spec style 1 to this web page. Okay, format tab, CSS style, attach style sheet, spec style 1. Browse for spec style 1. Click OK. Okay. You get the background. Now next they say attach style sheet you edited in step 3. Step 3, the style sheet we edited was spec style followed by a candidate number. That you need to attach it to this style. Format, CSS, attach style sheet, spec style followed by your candidate number. And there you have it. Okay. Now next, save your web page. Let's save this as a different file just in case we need to format it. So spec web page followed by the candidate number would be fine. Okay. Now next, use the class created. You remember you created a class here, class called cyan, in your style sheet to set the color for the text Tawara digital storage to cyan. Okay, it is to this. So place the cursor before Tawara digital storage. Split the window, it shows you the cursor there. So click there again, and here you're supposed to create a class. To create a class, the tag we use is span. Find for span, you get it. And you're working on class. They're asking you to create a class, and the name of the class, it appears here. Whatever class you create there, it appears here. So the class you created is cyan. Choose that and then close the tag, and after storage you close the span tag. Okay, you close the span tag /span. Now if you see, Tawara digital storage will have the cyan color applied. Now next, place into appropriate section of the web development layer a meta tag. Meta tag, we know it is inside the head tag. Okay, so split the window and find where the head tag is. You see, we have the head tag here. The head tag, the closing head tag is line 6. So it is before the closing head tag, you must have the meta tag. So place the cursor after the end of the fifth line, enter once, and now add a meta tag. So we are going to add a meta tag. So open meta, and then you are defining the character set to UTF-8. So it's char set UTF-8. All this you will have it right away. Okay, UTF-8. So that one is done. Close the tag, enter, open another meta tag. Meta. Now you're defining, include your name as the author for the web page. So you're defining an author and it is your name that you define. Okay, so now the name is author. You don't have this, you need to type author and then space. Now the content for the author is your name, your full name here. Okay, you will type in your full name there. Close the tag. We're done with that. Next, open another meta tag. Open another meta tag. And now here you're working on keywords. So the name is keywords. And then the content, they say the keywords are these. So this has to be typed. Tawara, TDS, DVD, and SSD. So type that there. Tawara, TDS, DVD, SSD. And then close the tag. Okay, so we are done with that tags. Now replace the text place image here in the web page with the image spec SSD you edited in step 1. So highlight the text. You have it here. Delete the text. Delete the text. Insert image. Find for the image you edited spec SSD in step 1 and name it spec SSD, any appropriate name for your picture. You get the picture there. Now save your web page, file, save, display the web page in your browser. Okay, file, preview in browser, Chrome. All right, you have the web page here. Let's resize it. Let's resize it. So that the table can be fully visible. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay, and take a screenshot of this with the address bar. And then you will have to provide this in your evidence. Okay, this is step 7. So step 7, paste your screenshot. Step 7. Okay, and then there's one more step. Take a copy of the HTML source and place this in your HTML document. So go back to your Dreamweaver, go to the code window, select all, copy, and paste this in your HTML again. In your evidence as HTML source, paste your coding. Okay, make sure the text is properly visible. Okay, might be you can okay, so that's how you do this paper. I think that's the end. Yeah, I hope that was clear. Yes, see you guys in another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.